A very good evening, folks. Welcome in the ring. Let's fight. So privileged that so many of you are joining us this evening, as per usual, from so many places, and we are eternally grateful. Hope you guys had a chance to tune into the afternoon rush today. We had the leader of the opposition on, and we hope that you would have had a chance to benefit from the information that he would have shared. Lots and lots are happening on the opposition side of the House in the National Assembly, on the opposition side in the country. I don't know how many of you know, but the opposition is a part of the governance structure in our country, and you're going to be hearing lots more from the opposition in the next few days, the next few weeks, folks. And I trust that you had a chance to watch a bit of that interview with the opposition leader on the afternoon rush with my colleagues Randolph and Christopher and all the other folks who were working hard behind the scenes. Folks, as you come on, we always ask that you share the live stream. Don't get stingy. You can't keep everything for yourself. It's a new year. You got to change your ways, folks. We insist. Lots to discuss this evening. So we invite you guys to share the live stream, and we are going to definitely be practicing what we preach here and share some of it as well. So we look forward to your participation in this evening's program. And as I wait for us to hit that magic number and for more of you to settle in, now that you're joining the live stream, I'm going to do some sharing of my own, folks. I'm so happy that you are here this evening, ringside. Quite a program for you this evening. I want to share quite a bit of information, and I trust that you sit back. So some of you got your popcorn, you're on your couch, you kind of decompressing after a hectic day, another day on the plantation called Vienna. Happy to have all of you. And yeah, so I am going to be doing some sharing of my own. And a huge part of our program this evening, we're going to talk about the accused in the 𝗪𝗵cie murders, their family protesting their innocence. I'm privileged to see Raymond Ryan joining from South Carolina. Raymond, good evening. Thank you for being ringside. We hope you have the testicular fortitude and the intellectual aptitude to step into the ring. Thank you, folks from South Carolina, for tuning in. And we're going to share the live stream as we're on, and we're going to get started. I am ready to fight, folks. I want to fight somebody. I'm telling you that. Hold my back, hold my shut, as we say in this country. Hold my shut, folks, hold my shut. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to fight tonight. I'm ready to back and out. Ashway. Yes. No. You understand me? You fight sometimes it's decent. I gotta pass away. You understand how things are going to roll. But again, I'm so happy and so privileged that so many of you are joining us. I want passion tonight with some people. You understand me? I want to fight. Folks, you don't come to spectate, right? You are participating, and part of your participation has to do with sharing the live stream. So take a minute and share. You know that it's a price for admission to ringside. The price to get into the ring is even higher, folks. So we're going to invite you to share the live stream. We're going to get started. I'm watching for that magic number. Let me see how we're doing. We're almost there, folks. We're almost there. I'm ready, ready. I'm ready for this fight. I'm ready to fight, folks. So fight tonight. Sure. All right. We ain't taking this nonsense about the 𝗪𝗵cie and these accused in the murders. We ain't rolling like that, folks. We ain't rolling like that. Right? So if that's how some people think we're rolling, think again. If the crime chief, when the Branham think that's how we're rolling, and the fraudulent president, Mr. 𝗏𝗏, that's how you think we're rolling, think again, folks. Think again. Right? Think again. We're creeping up to that magic number that we're looking at our end. Again, we invite all of you guys to share the live stream. Share. Those folks who are joining us on Twitter, we see that our Twitter following and viewership is increasing, and you can follow us on Twitter at my Twitter handle at 𝗪𝗏 on Twitter. You can follow us also on YouTube. It's 𝗪𝗏 on YouTube. On my personal Facebook page, 𝗪𝗏, and we're also streaming quite a few other places on Facebook. But again, very, very heartened that so many of you are joining us, that you spend this hour with us in the evening. It's very, very heartening, folks. And we do not take it for granted at all. We do not take it for granted at all. Are you guys ready? I am ready. I see Natasha St. Louis is joining, along with so many other persons, and we are privileged, guys, that we are your one-stop shop here in Guyana for credible and valid information. We are very, very privileged that you stop in every night to get a taste of the hot topics, and also to see, it's a good night to all except, and that you also join us for the close-up segment. And it's in that segment this evening, I'm going to be talking a little bit about these accused in the Henry Boyce murder. Folks, something fishy, something is not adding up, something stinks. It's like the trawler license issue. Something stinks, folks. Something stinks. And I'm watching at that, and we're going to be discussing some more of that. I don't know, I'm having a little bit of trouble trying to share this live stream, and I'm going to continue trying at that end. Let me see the other end now. All right, we're almost at that magic number. Almost, folks. I value your presence. I value your company. I know we got a lot of fighters out there, and I'm tremendously heartened that so many of you give us support, that we tag you and you jump in the ring, on so many issues, and you start pelting, punching, and kick and cuff, pashwe. Right, and you understand when we got to deal with the kind of government we have in the 𝗵𝗵C, the fight got its own rules, and you behave like a gentleman. But pashwe is hold my tie, hold my shot, hold my back. You understand me? Sometimes you gotta go home for your big brother, your big sister. It's pashwe, right? Because some issues are like that. Some issues are so important. You can't be nice. You understand me? You can't be nice at all. Cannot be nice. All right, folks, I am having some challenges and I don't know why. Trying to share. I'm just clicking on the share button and it's taking so long to load. I don't know. It's the fraudulent 𝗵𝗵. Always trying to sabotage everything. Folks, in Christian circles, we blame the devil for so many things, but that's how in political circles, it's the 𝗵𝗵. It's the 𝗵𝗵. It's them. We invite you guys to share the live stream as we get ready to start. And you guys know by now where we're going to start. Where are we going to start? We're going to start with the hot topic, folks. Thank you for joining us. Some of you waiting with bated breath. It's where they're going here now. We can talk about. Folks, I don't know. Let me make sure I get my notes ready. I don't like talking off the top of my head. Yeah. So first up, folks, let's fight. And the first issue we're looking at, I don't know how many of you know this, but there is a new Canadian High Commission. Praise God. A new Canadian High Commission. Chatterjee is officially off of our shores, and we thank God for that. And his name is Mark Berman, and Mark has recently presented his credentials, I think that's what they say, to the fraudulent infant alley. And Mark, to me, Mark don't start on the wrong note. Let me tell you that. Mark says, I'm very proud that Canada has been here in Guyana since Guyana's independence and before, and that we continue to be a presence and a very vocal supporter of Guyana today. I commit to you to continue to advocate for democracy as we have done for many years, and most recently during Guyana's electoral impasse, that we continue to reiterate the importance of the will of the people. Well, Mark, I didn't hear you also vocal during Trump not adhering to the voice of the people, right? So, when it comes to these quote unquote first world countries lecturing us on the will of the people, I say breaks up. And Mark, don't let me start on the wrong foot. I would hate to say good night to all except you. Don't let me start on the wrong foot. You just come, we can give you a fair chance. So mellow in, eat some laba, drink some black water, try the pepper pot and so forth, but take it easy, right? Take it easy, Mark. Meet us first, hear what we have to say, dwell among us a little bit, and then you can make your comments. So welcome nonetheless. Welcome nonetheless. And we commit all of our many thousands of square miles. We commend it to you. Try Kaito Falls, stay away from Brick Dam Cathedral late at nights, and even Lambert Street. But that being said, I don't know if you are going to be like the British High Commissioner, Mr. Quinn, and sample all that Guyana has to offer. But it's up to you. But you know what they say, once you try what's within our shores and within our territorial borders, some people don't like to go back to the country, right? So, but we commend our beautiful country to you, our beautiful people, our beautiful women. And we say, we hope that you have a great posting, Mark. Moving on from that, folks, I don't know how many of you might be still feeling it, but we are being made to understand that there are still tremors being felt, not from the paintings that appear on social media over the weekend, but literal tremors from that earthquake that rocked the deep south of the Rupununi. And we were made to understand, I'm picking up a report that the chairman of Region 9, Brian Alicock, told the Ghana Chronicle that the communities of Katunareb, 𝗪𝗏 and 𝗪𝗏 were among those most seriously affected. And just up to Sunday evening, Monday around 6:23 hours, tremors were still being felt in the Rupununi. So I don't know, folks, if you're living if your house is a little shaky, you got to watch that. You got to patch your roof. You got to, strap the post, whatever it takes. But and from this reporting here, the communities in the deep south were very, very shaken by this earthquake, physically and emotionally, because they have never felt something like this for a very, very long time in that very, very distant region in our country, but beautiful. And Mark Borman, the new Canadian High Commissioner, that's a good place you can take a visit. We have some very picturesque landscape in the Rupununi and especially in the deep south. So Mark, don't only stay in the capital and comment about things you know about fully as yet. Take a walk in the deep south, meet our people, as I said, sample the pepper pot, and tell us what you think afterwards. So tremors are still being felt, folks. As you join, you know what the routine is. You know the price of admission is to share the live stream. Folks, when I switch over on Facebook and Twitter, I want to see lots of retweets. I want to see lots of persons subscribing to our YouTube channel and lots of sharing on social media. Good. And those emojis there, it's not for style and fashion. Y'all don't only just be in the comment section cussing up and behaving bad, do something constructive. Put a like, put a love. If you're vexed, you're vexed. It's your face. And share. Another news, folks. One of our security companies, scores of their employees are protesting. And this is Integrated Security Services. And I say this because lots of security companies in this country underpay their staff and overwork them. Underpay and overwork, and they get big, big contracts from the private sector and from the public sector worth millions of dollars, and still they would still try to shaft their employees. So we're calling out tonight, we're calling out this security company, Integrated Security. And according to the report that I have here, over 30 security guards attached to the Integrated Security Services and stationed in various posts, Blackbush Polder, East Berbice quarantine, on Monday staged a protest calling for the company to pay them for the 2 months they have worked and did not receive salaries. To God, people, to God. In this COVID season, you could owe people for 2 months? For 2 months? What your name is? Government of Guyana? For 2 months you can owe people? Come on, Integrated Security Services, come on. These folks have families, just like you, right? And you know what is the shocking thing? When companies like this owe their staff, they're eating the finest breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the Marriott, right? When you're trying to hold a focus and do the job, they're eating the best at Marriott, Pegasus, and all the other places. Folks, there's a beautiful place I discovered. Is this in, where is this? The street with the hospital. Is it Thomas Street? Smoke Shack, something shack. It makes a lovely lunch. I love the Rasta pasta and a kind of pickled jerk pork thing that they do. Folks, they're giving you a free shout out there. This is a Smoke Shack, something shack in Thomas Street there, just off of Church Street into Thomas Street, right there. Lovely, lovely, lovely food. Yeah, so these guys don't eat at Smoke Shack. They go to Marriott and so on, while the workers facing the brunt of this dilemma. So folks, integrated security service, pay your staff. In the name of God, pay your staff. Moving on, we are following this story that has been creating quite a stir on social media of this pensioner being assaulted. And it was Dr. 𝗪𝗵cie 𝗬𝗏 who brought this story to the fore. I think in a Facebook post, she said that she was visiting this facility with her father to receive his pension when she saw this incident, and she made a post. I want to quote a part of it because it's a developing story. She said that I saw a pensioner walk up the post office and apparently went in, I suppose in frustration because I had noticed that she was there before us. I saw a heavy-set staffer quarreling with the pensioner, telling her to leave and stand outside. And then, to my shock and horror, the staffer leaned back and slapped the pensioner. I could see properly, but it appeared as if she fell. Another staffer came and assisted the pensioner out of the building and tried to comfort her. That's according to 𝗪𝗪cie 𝗬𝗏's post, Dr. 𝗪𝗪cie 𝗬𝗏's post on Facebook. This morning, the Ministry of Human Services said that an investigation into the allegation that one of its officers may have assaulted a pensioner at its Cornhill Street location, and the officer in question has been sent on administrative leave to facilitate an investigation into the matter. Folks have reached out to us and are claiming something totally different than what has been reported by Dr. 𝗬𝗏. They have said that in one instance that some individual in the post office facility was trying to apparently surprise this pensioner, this person from behind. And apparently the person was a little startled, the pensioner, and may have stumbled forward. Dr. 𝗬𝗏 may have interpreted that as the person being assaulted. That is one aspect of the story that we're picking up on this evening. We have also learned that it was the minister and the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Human Services who took the initiative to send this worker on leave. And that in and of itself might be a breach of the public services rules. And so, folks, we are looking at that, we are watching at that, and we will bring you more information as this story develops. But we are being, again, Dr. 𝗬𝗏 has put out one narrative on social media, and there's another narrative being told to us that no assault took place, and they may, and Dr. 𝗬𝗏 may not have seen exactly what transpired. And so we are going to give you more information as it becomes available. Folks, the president is back. Infant Ali is back. Quite recently, I told you that it seems as though the president has a hairstylist. This was a photograph taken just over the weekend, and the president is back in all his grace. Perhaps he has taken our advice that age is wisdom and that gray hair represents wisdom, and he has decided to go natural. But we noticed just last week, this was the president at that meeting with the little parties. Right? All black after visiting his hairstylist. And this is the president just this afternoon, just today. The grays are coming back. So maybe he's going to follow our advice and he's going to stick with his grays. Folks, if you want a hairstylist, somebody is doing the president's hair. So we commend that hairstylist to you folks this evening. Again, this is just today. All the grays are coming back. Maybe it's the burden of leadership, the burden of command, given the Venezuela controversy, and given the fact that they don't seem to know what the hell they're doing on the Venezuela controversy. But we are watching, and we wish them the best. This was the president last week. Talking about don't know what the hell they're doing. COVID-19, folks. COVID-19 is back. Well, not is back. It's here in all its power and influence. Just last week, we were reporting on the outbreak at the Department of Public Information. Today, we learned that COVID is ravaging the finance department and also the finance and the accounts department at NCN. Most of the staff, we are learning, and we are learning from credible sources, have come down with COVID-19 in the accounts and finance department of the National Communications Network on Homestretch Avenue. And last week we reported that it was similar at the Department of Public Information. Incidentally, both entities are housed there in the same compound on Homestretch Avenue. And so we are very, very concerned with the staff members in the entire facility of the National Communications Network on Homestretch, NCN, but especially those who are in the accounts and finance department in there. Folks, we are very concerned. Our thoughts and our prayers are with our colleagues at our sister agency. I hope the mention of sister agency made you all chuckle. But our thoughts and prayers are with all the staff there in the accounts and finance department at the National Communications Network on Homestretch Avenue. And we're going to be talking about them in a little bit. And that is a hint to what comes next. Not to be outdone by that, COVID ravaging the National Communications Network, the Minister of Legal Affairs was in Good Hope in Region 2 quite recently, telling residents of the work that the government is doing. Of course, we don't care about social distancing because, of course, the COVID vaccine is coming here over the weekend, and we're all going to be immunized and live happily ever after, right? And as somebody said quite recently in another post of the Attorney General, fraudulent Attorney General, Mr. Nandlal, wearing a mask these days seems to be just an accessory. Wearing a mask seems to be just an accessory. And folks, we say it again, it is not okay just to practice some of the COVID-19 protocols that are in place for your health and your safety. The onus is upon you to practice all of them. All of them. Good? And so while we see these members who came out to greet the unruly horse, the fraudulent Minister of Legal Affairs, the Attorney General, Mohabir and Nandlal, there is no social distancing. And so one can appreciate why, for instance, NCN has so many COVID positive employees, because these, in lots of instances, like the Department of Public Information, these are reporters who go out on assignment with people like Anil Nandlal, with folks like the president, who are not heeding the regulations of COVID-19. And so we can understand and appreciate why NCN is COVID fest right now in their finance and accounts department. And so the government has to do better where it concerns the COVID regulations and embracing them and practicing all of the COVID-19 protocols. Folks, that brings us to my favorite segment, a good night to all except. A good night to all except. And of course, I'm going to come to see what comments you guys, who should get it this evening, who should not get a good night this evening. A good night to all except. A good night to all except. Well, I know I get my good nights because Carly Hendy Braithwaite or Braffit says, good night, Mr. Duncan. So yeah, I'll try with that. It's not me. Right? Somebody else says that they are reckless fools. Donna Joseph, I think this is referring to the folks at NCN. Reckless fools. I agree with you. Somebody says 𝗵𝗵𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗵. Somebody says 𝗵𝗵𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗵. I see somebody says all the 𝗁𝗁𝐶𝑖s. All the 𝗁𝗁𝐶𝑖s on the live. Who are the 𝗁𝗁𝐶𝑖s, folks? Somebody explain to me. Who are the 𝗁𝗁𝐶𝑖s? Who are the 𝗁𝗁𝐶𝑖s on the live? Is that a reference to trench crappos? Who are the 𝗁𝗁𝐶𝑖s on the live, folks? A good night to all, except. A good night to all, except. And of course, we couldn't give it to anybody else but the sister network to the Department of Public Communication. We had to give it to NCN because somebody there at NCN is being rather reckless. And so this evening, it's a good night to all except NCN Guyana. You got a lot of little people managing NCN. I was made to understand that Raymond Cummins, the brother of 𝗏 𝗪𝗏, is the board chairman of NCN, Raymond Cummins, who is also the general registrar. He's the chairman of the board, but good night to all except the whole of NCN, because clearly somebody there is not taking the COVID-19 protocols to heart and the regulations, just like the fraudulent government. I know you have the fraudulent Eddie Lane, who is also there at NCN. You have Niaz Suban, who's at the Department of Public Information, who has had a terrible bout of COVID. All right, so it would be remiss of Niaz not to be enforcing COVID-19 regulations very, very stringently at DPI. And then you have Michelle Abrams, I think is now the CEO, acting, or the CEO of NCN. So the whole pack of the leadership there got to take responsibility for the account staff and the finance staff at NCN contracting COVID. I was reliably informed that the finance department and the accounts department on lockdown. Folks, let us use this point in the evening to say to each other, we have to be our brother's keeper. We have to. COVID is deadly. Wear your mask, sanitize, social distance, right? I see the government is now opening back up restaurants, 40% seating capacity, but to go to church can't be more than 25%. Can't be more than 25% seating capacity. But at a restaurant, 40%. Folks, if you don't value your health, you know this fraudulent administration don't value it. You know they do not value it. So you got to watch out for you. You have to watch out for you. There are 24 new COVID cases as of today. 24. 24 new COVID cases, which brings the confirmed cases in Guyana to 7,678. 7,678. While you share this live stream on Facebook, while you retweet on Twitter, while you make your comments, the 𝗁𝗁𝐶𝑖s, as somebody said, the 𝗁𝗁𝐶𝑖s, put it in your pipe and smoke it. When 𝗪𝗔𝗓𝗏 left office, there were 21 deaths. There were 21 deaths. 5 months later, there are 177 deaths. When the 𝗪𝗔𝗓𝗏 left office, there were 474 confirmed cases of COVID-19. Today, ladies and gentlemen, there are 7,678. 7,678. So the 𝗁𝗁𝐶𝑖s, the 𝗁𝗁𝐶𝑖s on the live, gotta put that in the pipe and smoke it. That speaks of the mismanagement of COVID under this fraudulent administration. And you know, folks, let's be fair. They often talk about the fact that a lot of testing wasn't being done. They have alleged a lot of testing was not being done under the 𝗪𝗔𝗓𝗏 administration. But how do you account for 21 deaths on the AFC administration and 177 during the same time period of managing COVID under the 𝗵𝗵C administration, who had their parallel COVID task force? We still don't know who make up the task force, much more who make up the vaccine distribution committee. We still don't know who those persons. Everything is a secret for the 𝗵𝗵P. They want to know who owned 2 trawlers. They want to know who on the vaccine committee. They want to know who on the COVID committee. Yes. So a good night to all except NCN, because somebody is not doing the right thing at NCN. That is why the accounts and the finance department is now faced with the brunt of the pandemic. So good night to all except. As we move along, as you guys would know, our next segment, what is the next segment, folks? What is the next segment? It's our close-up segment. And in this segment, we come up close to the issues, we come up close to the personalities. And this evening, we are looking at the Henry boys, and more in particular, at these accused, those who have been accused, 3 persons have been accused in the horrific murder of the Henry boys. So this morning, apparently, the accused, Mr. Let me see the names here, Mr. Vinod Gopal, Anil Sanchara, and the other fellow, made an appearance at the 𝗪𝗵𝗏 court, and their families were out there protesting their innocence. And I want to bring you some of that footage, and then we're going to talk a little more about it at the other end. Now, this footage comes to us, compliments of HDPTV, Nightly News, and in particular, Mr. Travis Chase. Take a look at it, and when we come back on the other side, we're going to discuss this foolishness.
Anil Sanchara?
Yeah.
You think Anil Sanchara killed those boys at Cotton Tree back then?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Why you don't think so?
Me don't know. Now this came back home. Me make it one this Christmas upon me take this by me. I know this right.
So how are you related to Anil Sanchara?
I went out walking, and the wife find me. He say like me. No.
Oh, so you're Anil's girlfriend?
Yeah.
So at the time of the murders, he was with you?
No.
Okay. So you don't think that your boyfriend killed those men?
Me don't know.
Is he capable of murder?
Huh?
Is he capable of murder?
Me not be a this Christmas upon me take this right. There's 2 of them I can make this by me know this right. I'm compose and it's a lamino compose Guyana. I mean know this right.
So you're familiar with the other boys that your husband with?
The other boys that were charged, you know them? The other 2 boys?
You know the other 2 boys that get charged with him?
On newspaper.
Yeah.
But you know them before? You're sure you never know them? You never see them before? No way?
No, porque me na con like them. Me na con Guyana. Me con the Venezuela walk and this by reach me. Say like me, I may take this by me know this by.
So
Only Christmas to come, me take this by me.
Only Christmas.
Okay.
Okay.
What was your name?
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
We are coming to you live from the 𝗪𝗏𝗏 Magistrates Court, where they expected the matter. Where they expected the matter against Vinod Gopal, 𝗥𝗶 and Anil Sanchara for the murder of the Henry boys to be called. We were informed by the prosecution in this matter that they are not in possession of the file because 𝗥𝗶 and the others, they are at separate prisons. They're not in receipt of the file, and so the matter has been put down until the 16th of February. Now, the woman you just saw on your screen, let me go back to her a bit here. This is the girlfriend of Anil Sanchara, and she's saying that she knows that her boyfriend didn't kill the Henry boys. She's also saying that she came from Venezuela to work and she met Anil, and that is how they formed a relationship last December. So what's happening here now is a picket action in front of the 𝗪𝗵ощ police station. It's housed. If you look beyond there, you'll see the 𝗪𝗵ощ magistrates court way behind. You're 𝗵𝗵 𝗂𝗶 what?
Mother.
You're his mother. You're the mother of 𝗵𝗵 𝗂𝗶. What are you saying?
Then saying they don't hold me son for mother. I told me never talk to me. Me never come in town. Instead, I come here say it is here, and he and me come meeting them a bring it here. But he didn't bring it here. And he said that he hold for mother. And he just tell me said that he never know anything about that. So any people have nothing.
You spoke to him after he was arrested by the police?
After he go in the prison, I spoke to him.
Okay, and
the prison line.
What I'm trying to understand, what Vinod said to you, how was he arrested by the police?
Then go home and catch he. Yes, and he was raped a little bit. And they catch he.
But you,
guys, I'm carrying down.
But you son kill them boys?
No.
How you know that?
No, me can swear to the last. My son never do that. My son never do one thing like that. Never, officer. Never. My son never do that. Vinod Gopal. They innocently.
What is Vinod capable of? What would he do? Thief?
At least small time. You never do that.
But not murder.
No. Not murder. And rob. And so not like that. Not murder in a rob. But them other bomb and foul people think he is taking so right. That is it. But no murder, no kill.
What is your name? What is your name, ma'am?
𝗪𝗵ощ 𝗵𝗵.
𝗪𝗵ощ 𝗵𝗵?
Yeah.
Okay. And where Vinod lives?
Vinod live with me, 𝗪𝗵ощ Blackbush.
Blackbush Polo.
Yes.
Okay. The other boys who were charged with Vinod, you know them?
Yes, them was living in 𝗪𝗵ощ. And they must search a place. They must search a place to live. And people must give them one place far from like 1.5 mile. So then I was there in the district. They were living in the district. September month I was living in the district.
Okay.
So come son know them.
Okay. Your son smokes?
No, you smoke cigarette so.
Okay. All right. Talk to me.
What you say?
Oh boy.
You talk.
What do you know?
You talk.
Hold on. Yeah.
Let the lady alone talk.
Catch yourself.
This thing happened. The people care me and my grandpa walking on this person. My husband went to walk confession both and people fool this man for go walk on this person. And as the man get who long me went and background and me know nothing and nobody nice people share me 𝗪𝗵 𝗪𝗵 people tell me mommy we don't the place we don't the place. Me tell you me don't know
So what are you saying? That the police took you in the back down?
No.
Okay.
Not right.
No. This person tell me for me come. They told the place now. And me went to get little dark. Me tell you straight. This little dark send me like the people coming. Coming a motorbike, me know this person, me went to get later. And me said on flat ground. And the people say what they get all gone. Me man do something, me say oh God, help me know nobody nothing. And me come already. And me don't reach it. No over the night to 𝗪𝗵 me don't reach in this place. And me went already say long and me bring that and me say me go away in this teacher. Me come already and find out. The people tell me they mangnare. Me go when you start. The people tell me they mangnare. And me ask the one day. The people not give me an answer. And hasta que podía hasta the police me and the man somebody come and hold me and me went a whole night. Me spend one night And this morning people carry me and just stone me sleeping already.
Call the name on me, yeah. Call the name on me, yeah. Call it if you don't get trouble. Call the name.
The people say, the people in channel waiting for
Good girl.
me husband
Good girl. Good girl.
So Anil Sanchar is your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay.
After that, I go away.
You see them two things, this not failing.
After that, they said, oh, I'm wrong, and the people chase me. He said, my husband is man, my husband kill somebody, but I'm telling me, and me know that. I'm a pregnant. Nobody nothing.
You know nobody, your husband don't know nobody nothing?
No, but you watch a big shrink. I'm my husband. He got the food in the went down. Big shrink. I'm my big food.
All right. All right. So that is the girlfriend of Anil Sanchar. If I'm to interpret what she's saying correctly, that she was approached by somebody from the 𝗪𝗵ощ region. Somebody else who is accused of the murder of the Henry boys, and they told her to leave Guyana, that her husband killed somebody. So what is happening here now? I think she is now going to officially make the police report.
If I see this right now, I was shocked. I have two bad child. Why try to beat around the bush?
This is Vinod Gopal's mother.
I tell you, these people are not communicate with.
I find out on here that the news said that in 𝗪𝗵, he will be the second in 𝗪𝗵. So we come back, but he was not here. My son innocent. Sorry, my son innocent.
Don't bring them. Don't bring them.
God,
I don't want to be stupid, but I put yourself in it. Tell the truth, and the truth will set you free. You're a stranger. Pack up everything.
Yeah.
Vinod, you Vinod's sister?
That my brother-in-law.
Your brother-in-law?
Yeah, and that time my brother, I'm there too. He just know about anything about murder. But 16 years ago, he killed his father, do what he never do like a murder. Never. Only this 4 years married with his family, and he never, but he do some small TPS. But he never board, he never got TP, he never do not make robbery, nothing, but he do so small, he do by himself.
But did you give the police, how you know he was at home at the time of the murder?
Right where you live in.
You were there?
Yeah.
Did you give a police a statement to this effect?
No, we didn't know. We just filed a call to the station.
Did anybody ask you anything?
The police come and take his skin. And we have to get a passport. Don't mean no one to come grab from the boat fellow. And we call the whole passport. The therapy shot them pretty bad.
Okay. So you were saying that you saw him at home.
On that time, he and his mother used to live, and we live in one, but he and his mother live in one.
Living with the husband and me living with Vinny.
He saw Vinny Gopal look after his mother.
When they catch Vinny Gopal and catch him at this girl home.
He run over his home.
You run away from them.
Play bad man.
Thank you.
Because he was so proud.
Vinod is your brother-in-law or your brother?
Brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law. And they took him from your home.
Yeah, because he ran with his body to some small people mind himself.
Okay.
And he picked up people from white people from like that because he had no idea. I had to feel it.
And what's your name?
Vani, Pasad.
Thank you, Vani. Thank you. Thank you.
We hope that justice is served.
This is the situation. If I'm to just go forward a bit, if you look at Anil Sanchar's girlfriend is being led into the police station. I think she's going to officially make that report now that she was confronted by another person whose name has been mentioned repeatedly in this murder investigation. and the person allegedly told her that she needs to leave Guyana. Don't tell the police anything, that her boyfriend is the person who killed the Henry boys. So the Blairmont Magistrates Court, Anil Sanchar, Vinod Gopal, and Akash Singh were expected to be here this morning. And we were told that the prosecution is not in possession of the file. The magistrate informed that the accused are being kept at different prisons and that the matter was put down until the 16th of February for reports. In the meantime, there's picket action outside of the Blairmont Magistrates Court, the Blairmont Police Station.
There you have it. I didn't want to edit anything at all. But there you have it. You have the comments of the relatives there for these fellows who are being accused of the murder of the Henry boys. You have Vinod Gopal, Anil Sanchar, and Akash Singh. Just this afternoon, we learned that attorney at law Dexter Todd, related to Nightly News, who we so graciously got that footage from, that they will be that he will be picking up the defense for these three men. Mr. Dexter Todd, he said free of cost, because as you know, if you've been following our report on this matter, these men have been unrepresented by counsel, by an attorney at law when they appear before the court. And so kudos to Dexter Todd, who is now picking up the defense for these guys in the name of justice. And according to the report that we have, I'm going to quote here Travis Chase. He said that attorney at law Dexter Todd has related to Nightly News that he will be representing Vinod Gopal, Anil Sanchara, and Akash Singh pro bono for free. Todd said that he made the decision following the live feed carried by 𝗁𝗵 Nightly News, and that is what we showed you in its entirety. We didn't want to edit, we didn't want to take out anything from it, but give you the relatives' comments as it happened early on today. Travis says that the three men are charged with the murders of Joel and Isaiah Henry, the two cousins who were found murdered at Cotton Tree back down. This is West Coast 𝗵𝗵. And last September, the case was called on Tuesday at Blairmont's Magistrates Court this morning and was adjourned until February 16th because the prosecution is not in possession of the files. Isn't this what Nigel Hughes told us is going to come down to this? A file goes missing, some nonsense, some bullshit, and then the case is tossed out. All right? Didn't we say to temper your expectations? And that we weren't interested in arrests, but convictions. And so it's being set up. Look what they said, right? This is one of the most high-profile cases in the history of this country. And according to Travis Chase and 𝗁𝗵 Nightly News, the prosecution is not in possession of the files. All right, so you bring these men to court this morning to face the long arm of the law, as they say, to face justice, but then you don't come with the files, right? The prosecution is not in possession of the files. Is this how a normal country operates, a progressive country? Is this how an oil-producing republic operates? I mean, it makes your skin crawl when you think about this nonsense. And again, we give you the footage as we received it from 𝗁𝗵 Nightly News. We didn't edit any part of it. We wanted you to hear from their family members. As a matter of fact, the first morning when they made their appearance in the magistrate court, the men themselves protested their innocence. That first day, right? They protested their innocence. And now you have the members of the family protesting the innocence for these gentlemen. And there you have it, folks. There you have it. Right? I mean, I see somebody asking on the live if it's Dexter Todd. Yes, attorney at law Dexter Todd said he is going to represent these men free of cost, right? I remember growing up hearing that when somebody is arrested, them reading them their rights, as they say, that you are entitled to an attorney, and if you don't have one will be provided for you. But maybe that doesn't happen here in this country, right? In this country where the DPP can drop charges, institute charges, and drop them just as swift without any reason, right? And so Attorney at Law Dexter Todd has stepped forward to represent these men, because I don't think, folks, and let me be honest, I don't think there's a Guyanese in this country who believe that these men are guilty of the murder of the Henry boys or harassing. They might be guilty of lots of other things. They aren't altar boys, they aren't church boys. But I do not think there is a Guyanese who believe that these guys are guilty of the murder of the Henry boys, Isaiah and Joel Henry, or harassing. The whole story is too cook up. The Argentinian expert came. The police had no time with him to give him any report, any evidence, any file, any what have you. Right? They treat him very badly. And then when the man leaves, then all of a sudden, report is available. This is a country, or as Martin Carter says once, this is a civilized plantation. Is this a country, folks? Or is it a civilized plantation? And so, in this evening's close-up segment, we wanted you to see close-up the family, hear their pleas, hear what they said, and come to your own conclusion. Because at the end of the day, Guyanese people aren't stupid, you know. This government, this police force can come out front and say a lot of nonsense and assume that we're going to eat it all up and say, yay, law and order prevails, right? Robeson Ben is doing something that Kem-Rad Ramtatan didn't do. But there you have it, in the words of the family member. A mother spoke, a sister spoke, the girlfriend. I don't know what we gonna do. I don't know what we gonna do in this country. It seems as though soon as this fraudulent government seizes power, is one confusion powder from the next. From earthquake to increased COVID to the Henry boys murder, is one confusion powder from the next. Is here die? Is no here die? And the government isn't trying to make it easy for themselves at all. This is like Trump Part 2. Every day is some controversy. Every day is a dispute. Right? As Maggie Fraser says, this is a bad Seven Curry story. It is a bad Seven Curry story. And they want to be believed. They want to be believed. Right? Somebody says that they believe Guyanese are duns. Patrick Amsterdam says they believe Guyanese are duns. That's what they believe. Right? But the blood of the Henry boys crying out from the grave for justice. Crying out from the grave for justice. I know what's part of the problem in this country. Some of these leaders are got cheering, you know. I ain't gonna call names. Some of them are got cheering. You call name, I can whistle. Some of them are cheering. I got 3 strong sons. And a wife who loves me. I would never call me this one. Some of them got cheering. The own family don't respect them. So how the members of the public is going to respect them? The own family don't respect them. Some of them even got family. They ain't got a wife, they ain't got a chick nor a child. They even got a dog or a grasshopper. The own family don't like them. The blood of the Henry boys, Isaiah and Joel, crying out from the grave, folks. Crying out from the grave. And I don't know in what world, in what universe, that the Guyana police force, on this present management and leadership, expect this country to believe this farce. This farce. They have lost the PR battle. And there's nothing the government, save Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Allah, everybody come down themselves and say, these men killed the Henry boys. But this is not believable. It is a bad cook-up 7 curry story, as the person says. It's a bad cook-up 7 curry story. Right? Some of them are children. And that is why they would never feel what these parents are feeling, what these family members are feeling, what the Henry boys family feel on a day-to-day basis, having to confront the authorities for justice for the loved ones. And that is why we are where we are. Folks, I hope you're not just watching this evening, that you're taking some time to share this live stream so that our Guyanese brothers and sisters are in touch with credible and valid information and not the nonsense that's coming out of 𝗁𝗪, NCN, and DPI, and 𝘁𝗪, right, and news fumes. Credible and valid information. You heard this evening from the family, the relatives of Vinod Gopal, Anil Sanchara, and Akash Singh. And you are the jury. You have to tell yourself whether you believe this nonsense or not. I'm already persuaded in what I believe. I am already persuaded in what I believe. So the president could masquerade around and be saying that he always knew that the police force was capable of solving these murders, right? Arya could rock him to sleep at nights with that foolishness while his hair is being dyed or undyed, right? But nobody is believing this 7 curry catfish story. Nobody is believing that. Nobody's believing that nonsense. And again, I say part of the problem is that some of them have been dabbling in so much foolishness or so much filth. They are numb. They are numb, ladies and gentlemen, to the concerns of the public. They are numb to public perception. Or else Infant Ali could never believe that this is a believable story, that these three men killed those Henry boys. Based on all we have heard in the manner of the death and what it would have taken to move them from point A to point B where they were found, and all the surrounding circumstance, to have us to believe that Vinod Gopal, Anil Sanchara, and Akash Singh were the masterminds, the intellectual authors of the deaths of the Henry boys and Harry Singh. Oh, y'all think we pagally? No. It's worse than though. Y'all think we went to 𝗪𝗧 University. Well, as you know, I spent the greater part of the weekend searching for 𝗪𝗧 University in 𝗪𝗧, and I find it yet. I went through all bush and trench. I meet up some trenches, and I find it. I stay in the trench. I left the trenches in the trench to comment all of the racist, disgusting comments. I left them in the trench, folks. I left them in the trench. Folks, that is our program for this evening. We want to thank you guys for joining us. As we go, you know, it is the norm for us to tell you to continue to social distance, wear your mask, don't be like NCN, sanitize, practice all of the COVID-19 protocols. And if these protocols were being practiced, NCN finance department staff and accounting staff would never be in the position that they are in currently. They would never be in the position they are in currently. So folks, we want to thank you guys for joining us this evening. Your presence has made a difference. And we hope that you think upon the issues that we have shared with you this evening. You think upon these issues, that you share it. Continue to share the live stream, share it back to your pages and your profiles. Maybe your fast neighbors will come looking to see what you post on your profile and run into some valid and credible information. Folks, again, we want to thank all of you guys for joining us. It has been our pleasure sharing this information with you, and we encourage you guys to come by tomorrow evening. As we go, we say a good night to all except NCN. Except, folks, we invite you back tomorrow night to Let's Fight. Have a great evening. God bless you. God bless your families. Stay safe.